Good morning, brothers. This is to bring you all up to date on where we stand with the air conditioning at the main house. As far as I know, as far as anybody's been able to tell me, the air conditioning heating system at the annex is working just fine. We did have a couple of issues that were important with the chiller system, the air conditioning system. The first one is that the water passageways through the chiller and boiler downstairs were becoming increasingly clogged with some sort of glop or mud. I said, okay, well, I get it. That's what it was. Now, interestingly enough, thermal comfort air's position was that this could not and should not be chemically cleaned. And I don't know what he thought that we would do instead of that, but that's what he said. We should not chemically clean this. And my vendors, because I'm having to learn a little bit as we go along, and said, well, of course you can. And I talked to suppliers as well as to distributors, and they had the same opinion. The one particular product that we're using was exactly what we wanted. And indeed, it is working. It's a slow process. I knew it'd be a slow process, but right now we've got both pumps running at the same time, both the chill water pump and the hot water pump, and we are getting sufficient flow to be able to run the air conditioning system. And I'm looking forward to the day when we can just run one pump and still have a vastly more efficient system than what we have had recently. Little did I know that this was cutting into the efficiency of the cooling and actually costing the chapter far more in electricity cost, at least apparently, than what we were expecting. So that's all going to be good. The second item is that the units outside were in need of some maintenance and also some upgrades. One of the things that we wanted to do was to certainly switch it from the nearly obsolete and highly expensive refrigerant 22 to the more commonly used now and much cheaper R407C. That does require some interesting modifications to the equipment, to pressure switches, to the lubricating oil inside, and so forth. So this is not something that you do lightly and without some preparation. But there are procedures established, and that's what we do. In addition, we have the number 2 unit has a bad compressor. We had some issues with 4, 5, and 6, rather minor issues like fan motors and some capacitors and so forth. So we've got we're changing the refrigerant in all 6 of them. I think 1 is the only one that's completely up to date on that. I'm thinking we did, or we're about to do 3. It's in my notes, which I don't have with me. So anyway, things are proceeding. We have sufficient air conditioning, I believe, to get the guys through the fall season. And by the spring, I expect to be fully healed myself and can get back to work on this. So I will be in therapy when you have an opportunity to have your meeting on Saturday. I have talked to my therapist, and if you have some specific questions, if you could text them to me, then I could perhaps, and a number that you want me to call, I could probably call in during some breaks in therapy, and if you don't mind me panting and coughing and carry on, because they're working me pretty hard, I'll be happy to answer any questions they have. So good luck, brothers. Have a marvelous weekend, a great, short, and meaningful meeting, and go Cats. See you later. Bye.